Big welcome to you, my dear Taurus. The sun is in Leo and is giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign, and we're going to the right, we're going to your full moon, which is happening in your opposite sign, which is Scorpio. We have here the number 8 and the number 5 calculated together. We get the 13, which is Scorpio, which is the transformation. So Leo is almost like saying there is a transformation that you need to look at, and that transformation leaves a 4, right? And the 4 is the Emperor, is the zodiac sign before you. You're the second house, or the second zodiac sign, and as such connected to the second house. And the second house here, very beautiful. We see the woman here balancing between the worth, right, the 7 chakras and the crystals, and she has a flower above her head that is indicating that anything can grow with where she puts her mind to it. And she has here a star right at her heart. So really important to understand the numbers, really important to understand how everything is interacting and telling us stories, and the stories are infinite. So here we see how the lion is looking or roaring into the left, and the left always means the intuitive, the new moon, the soul, and to the right means the logical, the extroverted, to the full moon kind of path, right? So this is human and this is soul energy, and not one is better than the other. And usually they made everything that goes to the left negative or even evil. So we unite with the intuition, because when I look at the card, right, I see that he's roaring to the left, and sometimes people say, well, this is the past. It is not. It is when I become also the card, the fact that both of them are looking to the right. And so you can decide if you want to just look at it and see that they're going to the left and get inspired, then to go deep within, and then realize that that deep within brings you further out. And so here comes a very beautiful story already just by these 2 cards, right? Now Leo is ruled by the sun, and so the sun giving the light to the moon, and the moon, of course, being in your sign, right? It's important that we understand that this is happening today, and this happens only once a year. But if we include all the other planets, then we understand that this moment really exists only once in your life. Now you're ruled by Venus, and Venus is the Empress. And the Empress is in the 13, right, when we calculate the 8 and the 5 together. And the 3 is inside here as this triangle. And so you got to learn and understand what your soul is trying to tell you, always through the major arcana. And of course then you have your court card, which is that you are the King of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles is the second zodiac sign, like I said, right? And the 2 is the duality that she is balancing here, in between here, the chakras and the crystals. So when you look at Venus, it's beauty, it's love, it's money, it's the institution, it's anything that's orderly, right? And so we are gonna, of course, look at Venus very clearly and see what she's trying to tell you. In your deck, Leo looks like this, and we can see here that one hand is below the mouth of the lion and one hand is above his head. And so that has a meaning as well, right? Everything has a meaning in these old cards, and that's why I include them. And of course I also use more contemporary or modern decks, right? Which I carefully picked because I just don't want any deck. And so we really see here that Leo is telling you to understand the wild side deep within you. The yoga position for Leo is Simhasana, and so when we practice this pose, we can release here, the fifth chakra, the throat. We can release the sound and we can tell people our stories, right? Which is important that we release that and let it out. And you are a movement, right? The two pillars are not anymore framing you. You yourself become the pillar because it is a movement. And any farmer understands that cows are social beings and they're very loving and they're very caring to each other. And what we have done to them so far is pretty much a crime against the animal kingdom. And so here we see that you can create a movement for planet Earth, right? You see the hexagram, you see also the 5-pointed star. And again, you see how when you go up, it's work to go up and find your energy, but what comes down is easy and is simple. So you are the King of Pentacles, right? If your birthday is between April 10 and May 9th, then he is your court card. You see he looks to the left, and again, when you become him, he goes out to the right. Whatever he has understood, he will then bring it to the outer world. And so as Taurus, you are the sensuous one. Just remember this, right? You are using your horns and you are, you know, the one that enjoys really, really good food. So back to the last reading, because everything is cyclical and I want to see if there is a recurring energy, right? I want to see if I can dock on to the last reading where Cancer Sun was giving the light to Taurus Moon. You got all 4 aces for your path of love as a mission. Well, it is literally saying to you that when you get the 4 aces, right, just that you see here the message, it's important that you recognize the aces is the holy energy, a holy energy that is bringing us an understanding that one emotion is important, and that's to be authentic. One material energy is important, and that's working because you love what you're doing. And one action, right? It's like I do that action because I love doing it. And then of course one thought, which is also bringing you to a loving understanding of what is happening around you. And so today, Leo, the fire energy that is coming here to give you the push to take action, means when we take action is that's where we not stuck anymore. And that's why I actually made out of you a movement. It was very important for me that you are not sitting between these 2 pillars anymore, because you can create a movement, right? And so it's important that you understand that. So we begin with the King of Pentacles, and we get the pages. And the pages is the young generation, are all 3 water signs. And we have here Cancer, we have Scorpio, which is the opposite sign, and we have Pisces. And the young generation brings a really beautiful amount of love and recognition to a new way of living, a more free way of living, an emotional way of living, right? To show you authentic side. And so the 2 and the 3 creates the 5, which is you. And so you come up here, right? Through these 3 young people that maybe influence you, that maybe inspire you to continue what it is that you seem worthy to continue. And so the 5 is left, and you are recognizing, maybe through a Cancer, through the last reading, that you got all 4 aces for your path of love as a mission. The path of love is recurring here, and so recognize that, right? And the path of love is a beautiful path. It's worth to be continued with. But we also have Scorpio here, and you are going out to Scorpio to get your full moon. So you're more extroverted, right? After the full moon, you're going back into the new moon, to the introverted aspect again of a year, right, of the 12th month. And so now you're going out with love. Then we look at the High Priestess. She's bringing you here the Sun. And the Sun in Leo is literally letting you know that the 19 plus here the 3 of the High Priestess creates the 22, and the 22 is the Fool. And the Fool is in the Tarot Uranus, and Uranus is of course the planet of revolution. And so here we see already that the young generation is saying, well, we want more egalitarian energy, right? Masculine and feminine are equal. So we have here the 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter, and we have the 9, which is the Hermit. And you understand that the 10 is left, the 10 and the 3, again we get a 13. A transformation is coming to you, a big one, because that's Scorpio, and the calculation of the 8 plus the 5 was also a 13, and the 4 is left, and so the 4 again is appearing here to you. Then I wanted to see what your deck is bringing, and it's here the 8 of Wands, and that's Mercury in Sagittarius. And Mercury is the planet of the magician, right? And so you will have very fast energy going outwards. And the 4 and here the 8 is the 12, and the 12 is Pisces, the 12th zodiac sign, but also the Hangman. So you are realizing something. You're realizing how important it is to love and to connect with love, and that the 3 is left here when we then calculate the 12 together. The 3, again here, the Empress is literally saying, yeah, you get it, right? Because in a way I can leave also the 22 here. So this could be the 22nd of August. A beautiful date, right? Where you can maybe recognize something important, recognizing that there is something coming really fast to you, and you will be surprised, right? What is then the Mother Peace Tarot bringing? The Emperor to the right. And the Emperor to the right is of course Aries, which is the zodiac sign before you. So maybe you have some Aries energy in you. And we see here the Empress and the Emperor. And the Emperor to the right is indicating you really want to take action, right? So the 8 and the 4, again the 12, and here the 22. We leave the 22. It's a portal, right? We don't calculate that together to a 4, but we would have a 4 here. And this indicates you really want now take action about something, right? Because the Sun is ruling Leo and the Sun is in Leo, so something is really pushing you to do. And we can also calculate, of course, here the 3 and the 4, which is a 7, which is the emotional intelligence, right? And the emotional intelligence is Cancer, which was in the last reading, the path of love as a mission. And that's emotional intelligence in action, in doing. So of course here we can mix and mingle the cards, right, or the numbers of the cards, and create a whole story in itself. But you get it, right? The 3 and the 4 is the 7 and the 8 is actually then the 15 and the 10 is the 25, the 7 is left. Emotional intelligence is all we need, and it's all we actually want here as a soul, right? When we go deep into our feelings. Then we look at the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is bringing you here Libra. Now you share with Libra Venus, and Libra is also here between 2 pillars. But what's interesting here is that I have it here. What's interesting here is that both of your pillars are the same pillars, kind of. They're not really the same, but apparently we see here the upper part from the pillars, and here we see the lower part from the pillars. And both of them are in between these two pillars, right? And I think it's the connection that both of them, Taurus and Libra, need to become a movement and to be in the egalitarian energy, to balance things out. And here in this deck, it's the number 11 that is coming here as a portal. So you have the 22, which is then of course Uranus. And here you have the 11, and in the 11 we see that the inner knowledge, the inner wisdom is coming to you. And so this could be the 5th of November or the 11th of May as a date. So, or there is a Libra in your life that is bringing you here this card as an understanding that you need to be more just. But also you need to listen to Venus, right? Because Venus is ruling also Libra. And so maybe there is a connection through Venus. Then Venus is bringing you the Magician. And you had before on the position of Venus the Sun, which is the 19. And some say it's the 1 and the 9, right? But for me it's a 10 and a 9. And so here you get a 1. The 1 would be, the Magician would be Mercury telling you here something important. That here is a 1-1-1 portal. And you above are realizing something. You also have here a 1 and a 1 that is framing you, right? The two pillars of truth. And so learn to discern what is really wanting to come to you. The 4 elements that you got last time, the 4 aces, right, are here on this table. And so maybe there's an indicator back to Cancer Sun. And learn to distinguish here something, because it's important that you see that we are always learning, and Mercury as a planet brings you the information. He's the messenger of the gods, right? And that's what the young generation is maybe wanting to tell you, because it's 3 zodiac signs in here, and there's 3 times the 1. What is the mother piece bringing you? The 6 of Cups. Now the 6 of Cups is the Sun in Scorpio, and that's when you get your full moon. And so this is literally saying celebrate yourself, celebrate the 6, celebrate the arrival of yourself, the beauty in recognizing in the past that you have been a very loving and kind personality, and that Scorpio is here, Sun in Scorpio, right? So that there is something deep within you. Maybe you have a lot of Scorpio inside of you. Have a look at your chart, right? It's important that you know the day that you're born, how the stars up above you, or how the sky was being placed. It was your decoration, right? The sky was decorated for you on the day of your birth. And it's important to understand and to know that. And so here we have the 3 and the 6. But what's now really beautiful is that the 5 and the 6 is the 11. So here we just have 5 times the 1. 5 times the 1, it's like you are realizing something very powerful, because you're the 5, you're the 5th chakra, and something is really important here. 5 times the 1 on one moment. It's powerful, right? And so look at that. Look what that 1 means for you. And see if you don't feel connected to the 1, why you're not feeling to be connected to the 1 and only. Why not? Right? The 1 is the point in your head, is here, the 3rd eye, is the 6. the 6th chakra. It's the 3rd eye. So I don't have to calculate this together. I keep 5 times the 1, right? And you need to look at it, what it is that the 5 times 1 is wanting to tell you. Then we look at the moon. The moon is the subconscious. The moon is also your emotions, and you get the 1. So you have 6 times the 1. And the 1 is, of course, here, a tidy house, clarity and organization. So the 18 plus the 1 is a 19, and the 19 we know is the sun that came up on the position of the Empress. And the 19, of course, becomes a 10, right? And then the 1 is left. But also remember, again, the sun in Leo is bringing you the strength to overcome maybe an emperor that is pushing you out. Maybe there's an Aries that is kind of like pushing your buttons a little bit. But other than that, there's not really anything negative yet, right? I wouldn't be able to say that there's anything that is off, right? But remember, the Aries energy to the right, it's like it's someone that takes action. It's someone that uses those 8 wands, right? So here we have then again a 10, right? The 19 turns into a 10. And so I wanted to see, of course, what your deck is bringing, and now something is coming, the Tower. And the Tower is Mars and the Taurus. And Mars is like, okay, something is breaking apart, something is falling off the tower. We have that 1 blast, and we have the window of the 3. But here we have a 4, but also here we have a 1, and here the 3, right? And we have the 2 people, and we have a triangle with the people. I mean, you see how much you can really read into these cards. And so the 16 turns into a 7. And the 7 is literally saying, well, the 7 plus the 10 is the 17, and that's Aquarius. And Aquarius is the new age that is coming. Pluto, which is ruling Scorpio, right, your opposite sign, is going at the end of November for 20 years into Aquarius. And you're going to feel that too, because you want to incorporate Scorpio, your opposite sign. It's important that you understand that. And so here comes something that is wanting to teach you something. So this tidy house, right, that's here, with here the Tower. It's kind of like, so the 16 turns also into a 17 here, right? Well, the 7, the emotional intelligence, is left. And Aquarius is opposite of Leo. Is ruling, is giving Leo the light for his full moon. Maybe the Aquarius full moon now in Leo month is something that you need to look at, right? Now we have here, of course, the 16 plus the 1 is the 17, and then the 8 is left. So you have the 8 of wands, and now you have here the 8. But also remember, we have the moon. But the moon is, of course, the 18, and the 18 calculated is the 9, and the 9 always gives itself up. But it's like you cannot get around it, right? The moon plus the 1 is the 19, which is the 10. And here the 7 of the 16 is the 17, so the 8 is left. So learn to calculate yourself, right? And make your own stories and realize how much numbers are accurate and are teaching you something. Then from the Mother Piece Tarot comes the 2 of Pentacles to the left. So slightly to the left and reverse. When a card is reverse, and it's happening, of course, with the round cards, that's why there are clarifications. And they're so precise that I see it goes down and a little bit towards this card and not towards this card. So make this important, because otherwise this will destroy something, right? See with the money, make sure that the money is in the right places, because sometimes we don't know what's happening when there is a Tower moment, when there is Mars. It's like it's saying something. And so the 1 and the 2 is the 3. And then here, of course, the 16 and the 3 is the 19. And the 19, then the 10 is left. And the 10 or the 1 is left. And so you have 6 times the 1. And understand that the young generation is bringing you to clear up things, is bringing you to create new things, right? And so it's important that you understand that, because the 10 is a new cycle. And the 10, of course, then with the 1 and the 0, right? We know again the 22 you had and the 11 you had many times now, 6 times the 1, right? So this is what the subconscious is telling you, right? The moon. Deep in your subconscious, you're recognizing something here, something important about money, because it's reverse. And she is really connected here with the twins and the snake, but it's facing here this card. So tidy up, clear your house, and make sure it's organized. It's your home, right? Good. Then we look at the sun. The sun, of course, in Leo. And the sun is bringing you here gravity, the number 39. So the sun, the 19 is the 10, and the 39, of course, is the 12. So here we have the Empress and the Hermit, and that's Venus, right? The Hermit is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury brought you the information through the Magician, and the Magician said, remember in your past, right, through the 6 of Cups, that the sun in Scorpio, that's when you're gonna get here 5 times the 1. You're gonna get really something in your full moon. And so you are gonna remembering something important. So the 12 is the 12th zodiac sign, which is Pisces. And look at what's coming out here of his little cup, a fish. And so here Pisces is maybe talking to you and saying, don't get pulled down by gravity. Lift your head, do what you can do, and let go of what you cannot accomplish or what you can change. And so the 3, the Empress, is telling you, you can do it, right? You can sit on a white horse and be victorious, because the 10 and the 3 is again the 13, is again Scorpio. So it's leading all to your full moon, the month of Scorpio. And the 4 is again left here. What is Leo saying? He brings you the Ace of Air, a clear thought. And this horse is jumping here, almost like wanting to rescue you. And you see it has wings, and this is, of course, the Nordic story of the Valkyrie. The horses that are flying, and usually it's a woman on it, and she takes all those fallen warriors and picks them up and brings them into the great hall of victory. So the 3 and the 1 is the 4, right? But we already had here the 4, so the 1 more is the 5. So here you have a 5, which is you. It's talking directly to you through a Pisces, through here this cup, through Scorpio also. And so understand, right? This is very, very clear. What is the Mother Piece Tarot bringing? It's the 4 of Wands to the right. And the 4 of Wands is Venus in Aries. And so we have the 5 and the 4, which is a 9. And the 9, of course, is the Hermit, right? And you understand clearly the 10 plus here the 3 is the 13. The 13 plus the 1 is the 14, which is the 5. The 5 and the 4 is the 9, the Hermit. And inner knowledge and inner wisdom is coming to you, and you are realizing something through Leo. He brings you somehow not just take action, but also a clear thought and then a high time. Because when here we see these 4 women dancing, and they just got their period, right? It's a very beautiful card. And they're dancing and they're celebrating, and they're really like, well, now I'm a woman. But But look, this woman, something with her, and you get a horse that is coming to rescue you. And so you see that then the high time will appear, that you will also see this horse and the child that sits on it. And that's why here these 3 zodiac signs came, because this is the last card, or maybe this, right? But now you see that the path of love will save you, will help you, will bring a high time to you. So beautiful, right? And now you have 7 times the 1, and 7 times the 1 is clear, right? And so the love is what is needed, right? To make you understand that one thought is all you need to save yourself. Because I can calculate here the 3 and the 4, it's a 7, the emotional intelligence, to understand that. And so you see the closing of this reading, right? Because everything is circular. And here is the love from Cancer, from Scorpio, and from Pisces that is telling you, don't give up. The high time will come. The horse will come, right? And that horse will save you, will make you sit on this horse, and you can ride anywhere you want. And so of course the 10 and the 7 is again the 17, and the 17 plus the 1 is the 18. Deep in your subconscious you understand what the message is here. So just never give up. Know that you have help, right? Know that you have this young generation that loves you very much, and for that you will just about do anything, right? Because it's the path of love. It's what you do, because you are connected with Venus, and Venus is love and beauty and money and all the things that are coming around such powerful tools. So I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when the Sun is in Virgo. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.